Road that is south of the valley, and that's causing about a 3-mile backup. Collision on 27th Avenue just north of Bethany Home, and 43rd Avenue in Peoria is still working a crash there that the emergency crews are trying to clean up. Now in the East Valley, you have a crash blocking the right lane on westbound Santan Loop 202. It's going to be in between Alma School Road and Arizona Avenue. This is causing about a 3-mile backup. A crash in the cleanup stages on eastbound Santan Loop 202. Crews have moved that into the median area over by Power Road, so hopefully that'll be cleaned up pretty soon. Crash near the Power Road and Ray Road, and one more crash to tell you about. This is going to be on the left shoulder of northbound State Route 347 near Casablanca Road. Looks like about a 2-mile backup for folks trying to head back into Maricopa this afternoon. This traffic report is brought to you by YRefi. Don't let private student loan debt ruin your life. Go to YRefi.com. That is the letter YREFY.com. Troy Barrett, KTAR News.
Tonight, clear skies, 56. Will be partly cloudy again on Thursday. 30% chance of rain, a high of 69. Right now in Phoenix, we are looking at 73 degrees. Weather brought to you by Howard Air and Plumbing. With a replace or repair, call Howard Air and Plumbing. I'm Becky Lynn on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos presents The War Room. A political symposium cutting through the noise from the Arizona State Capitol to Washington, D.C. The War Room starts now.
All right, here we go. Our 1-hour War Room. It is at a Wednesday, and we are in the 5 o'clock hour. So, let's meet our panel. Hey, Barry Markson, KTAR legal analyst, is back. Good to see you, Barry.
Hey, guys.
We have Frank Milstead, a retired colonel at the Arizona Department of Public Safety. Frank, nice to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, sir.
Okay. We have Michelle Ugenti-Rita, the former Arizona State Legislature on the Republican side. Michelle, nice to see you.
Good to be here.
All right, let's go over what I thought was disgraceful last night, really on both sides. But it was the president delivering his first address to Congress. I thought the Democrats were horrific. Mm-hmm. Now, I expected that Trump was going to be Trump. He's disparaging. He's rude. He lied. I get it. But maybe it's just me. I wanted the Democrats to show that they were the bigger person. They showed up with signs and popsicle sticks.
What's the win in that these days?
What's
the win in decorum? What's the win in taking the high ground?
I just don't want to hear a Democrat say how bad Donald Trump is because you stooped right to his level.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, I agree with you. I don't like what the Democrats do. I don't like when Republicans do it either when there's a Democratic president. I think it's small.
Which they did.
They did. I don't like it from either side.
Wasn't it worse this time?
It's
I thought
small
it was worse.
and petty.
Well,
It's the worst.
Bobo and Marge were screaming at
been.
Biden, weren't they? Last one.
But here's the thing that's really important, Gaydos, and you kind of wash right over this. Is
okay.
Trump? You say, well, Trump's Trump, and that's okay. Well, no, that's not.
I didn't say that's okay.
And that's really what we should be talking about.
I just knew what to expect from Trump.
Yeah.
Trump was going to be the smaller person. I get it, but the Democrats were a total embarrassment last night.
And Trump has nothing to do with the Democrats' behavior. I mean, I have sat through 12 State of the States down at the legislature, and that kind of break into decorum, that obnoxious behavior, being that aggressive and disruptive, it's exactly why they are losing, and they're going to continue, the Democrats, to lose, because they have no substantive policy to talk about, and they just do public spectacles and tantrums, and we're sick of it. They really jumped the shark last night with their behavior.
And I think you could see the power of hatred coming from both sides, and that's no example for the young men and women in our country to see the hatred that's there and how powerful that is. But when you can't stand up and clap for a kid who has cancer and becomes a Secret Service agent for a day, and you can't clap for a guy who lost his father in the line of duty and makes it into West Point, that to me is completely unacceptable from anybody.
I agree with you, and there's no reason that Democrats can't stand up for those types of things or something that's to be applauded. But the other side of this is, while we're applauding the cancer kid, Trump and Doge are literally cutting cancer research by tens of millions of dollars, and that's okay. I mean, that's the substance of what we're dealing with. We could talk about,
but nobody gets to the substance, Barry.
Yeah,
you know that.
But here we are.
We're not talking about the substance.
We're talking about the
behavior.
Optics. We're talking about optics, and that's the world we live in. And Trump did that.
But we're here. Let's not talk about the optics. Let's talk about the substance. Trump is saying he's having the greatest 43 days of a presidency of all time. Are we really happy with what he's doing? Are we happy that all of this medical research is just being canceled? Are we happy that universities that do this research are literally being told, stop, fire people, we're not going to send you money this year? That's the issue. That's
They're happy until it affects them.
Well, none of us are going to recognize. Look, if you're getting fired right now, you know it affects you negatively. Mm-hmm. But for most of us, we're not going to recognize the slowdown in cancer research development and the slowdown in medicine and drug research and the things that Trump is doing.
Yeah, but you may see a cutback in SNAP benefits or housing assistance or other things, and until it affects you, I don't think they care.
Well, let me throw this out there. We're inside the war room. We've got Barry Markson, we've got Frank Milstead, and Michelle Ugenti-Rita. Barry, I think you're right, man. I mean, it's crazy. You're going to stop some of this cancer research. But I go back to trying to watch this thing, and as soon as Al Green got tossed, I was done. He should have gotten kicked out. He wasn't letting Trump speak. And I know that the Democrats, the Republicans did something close to Biden. I did think this was worse. But why can't we just respect the office? You don't have to respect the man, but he won.
That went out the window a long time ago.
I don't believe that.
Who was the guy who yelled, "You lie" to Obama? That was the first time I remember.
It's one person.
Yeah, but I kind of remember that was when, what? That never happened. You didn't stand up in a State of the Union and scream at the president.
Heckling last night.
Yeah, and it'll be worse at the next one.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to say is, why can't we just respect the office?
I agree.
Well, we can. They chose not to.
Yeah, but the Republicans did that when Biden was president.
It doesn't matter. Two wrongs don't make a right. We're talking about what happened last night.
You're right. It was wrong. I agree.
He's still everybody's president. He got elected. Whether you like him or not, he's your president.
And not clapping is different than getting up and screaming and heckling and making making a spectacle of yourself and your party. And there's a way to show disapproval and dissent without embarrassing yourself and your party.
The part that I was bothered by more than that, I didn't like what the Democrats did, and I'm agreeing with everybody, but that was the longest State of the Union speech in 100 and something years, and it was a partisan.
It was a campaign rally.
It was a campaign. It's a good point, and that's never happened before. There's never been where it's that direct of a campaign rally, and the stuff that was there. I appreciate there were some things that we should all stand up and applaud, but there were he literally called the last president the worst president in the history of the United States, and I'm the best. Right at in essence, a
better than George Washington, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean, you knew that.
That's what should be
was said too.
That's what should be alarming to us, is that this is the guy who's the president now, and this is the disrespect he's showing all of our institutions, that he's showing the Congress, and he's showing Americans. That was what should really be bothering us.
Here's another clip from last night.
Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it.
Okay. He took over a pretty good economy. I mean, I think we should say that. Yeah. I think that Biden's economy was not nearly as bad as what everybody said.
Low unemployment.
Yeah.
Skyrocketing
inflation was terrible.
Inflation.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that's
but that's not
a hidden tax. That's major. That's what that Trump is exactly what Trump is talking about. Food costs, home costs, regular living expenses and costs.
How does getting rid of DEI or making English the language or changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico make stuff cheaper for people?
But what he's talking about. Inflation, you're talking about things that affect everybody's life on a daily basis. I mean, under Biden, it was very difficult and has been difficult.
How much lower are gas prices today than they were when Trump took office, or from the point of the election? Are they higher or lower?
About the same, I think.
No, they're not. They're not the same.
higher.
They're higher. They're much higher. They're 60 cents a gallon higher. How much lower are egg prices today or grocery prices today than they were?
Egg prices had skyrocketed.
So it was Biden's fault when the egg prices went up under his thing, but it's not Trump's fault when it's happening under his watch.
How come eggs are more expensive and chickens aren't? I want to know
that. That's a good question.
I have questions because
the
chicken
cost of
has
living
not gone up.
is extremely high. You cannot deny that. That's in part why Biden lost. Is the economy.
Right, which I think is ridiculous, is blaming the president for prices that obviously they don't control.
But I think it's
or else Trump would have turned down the price of gas on day one, but the president doesn't control the price of gas.
Interest rate.
When you restrict energy and you restrict oil and you say, hey...
What are you talking about?
He stopped the Keystone Pipeline.
No, that's not true.
He didn't stop it. It doesn't bring oil
Didn't stop it, and it's Canadian oil going to refineries.
Biden bucks being spent recklessly, printed...
2024... The United States of America produced more oil than any country in the history of mankind.
That's right.
We were the number one oil-producing country, more than Russia or Saudi Arabia have ever done in their history.
And you know what the year before that, who had the record before that? Biden in 2023.
Yeah. So the idea that was anti-energy it's just not true.
Here's the reality.
It's just not true.
We're producing more oil under Biden than we have in the history of the country ever. Gas prices are up now.
I don't give Biden credit for it. It wasn't him that did it. It's oil companies that did it.
But when Biden left office, the inflation was down about 2.7%. It's higher now. When Biden left office, gas prices, when I was at my local gas station, I took a picture of it on the last day. It was $2.68. It's up over $3 now. Or up over $4 now. This is now, it's a month. And I'm not blaming Trump at all. But my point
where
is,
you got gas for $2.68.
Yeah.
$3.68. I was over at the Costco.
Okay.
But my point is, the point is, Bruce is right. Number one, the president doesn't control prices. The president doesn't come in and say, let's get these egg prices lower.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But you were blaming Biden for this 7 months ago. How come we're not blaming Trump for it now? That's my question.
I don't know that you can blame anybody after 45 days. Anybody who's ever taken over an organization knows that it takes a year to 2 years.
I mean, what do you think Doge is about? It's about reducing the size and scope of government and the largesse.
What does the president do to lower egg prices? I'm just curious. What is the president's input that raises or lowers egg prices?
I have no idea.
Well, there's manufacturing costs. There's just costs of living that get incorporated in the end product price.
What does the president have to do with manufacturing prices? I mean, you don't manufacture eggs, but what is the cost? What does the president do? What can he do
Set
to
up
lower
a welcoming environment where businesses can compete and prices would get reduced because of that.
How long will it take for Trump to get egg prices down?
Here's the deal. Biden was unelected because his Biden economy sucked.
But that was my question. How long should we give Trump to lower the egg prices until we say this is Trump's fault? How much longer?
You're reducing Trump's presidency to egg prices?
Well, that's what he talked about. He said
he said about a lot of things, Barry. He didn't talk just about egg, but it's a campaign.
But it's easy to boil it down to eggs, I guess.
All right. We got to check in the headlines on the way. Quick break. We come right back inside of the war room. And did Trump's meeting with Zelensky make the United States more or less safe? We'll talk about that next inside the war room on KTAR.
All right, let's get some Connecticut water inside your house. The Connecticut K5. I've had it in my house for 20 years. It is third-party certified to take out 99% of forever chemicals. If you've heard about forever chemicals, it has been in parts of Arizona in the water. Very dangerous stuff. And all you have to do to get some peace of mind, to make sure that your family can rest assured that Connecticut's K5 is going to do the job. Take out the forever chemicals. Take out all the chlorine that's in your water. Just give them a call at 602-910-6570. It really is peace of mind. When you have a Connecticut system, the water will smell better, the water will taste better, and the water will feel better on your body when you're bathing. 602-910-6570. In business right here in the Valley since 1987. Check them out at aquazona.com.
KTAR News Flash.
It's 5:17. I'm Becky Lynn, and here's what you need to know right now. Democrats at the state legislature work to expand reproductive freedom and claim Republican lawmakers want to restrict it. State Senator Priya Sundaresan says Democratic lawmakers have introduced bills to expand access to contraceptives and the right to IVF.
But Republicans have blocked each and every one of them by simply refusing to place them onto a committee agenda.
Meanwhile, House Republicans have introduced a voter resolution that would amend Prop 139, which enshrined abortion rights in the state constitution and allows laws to restrict abortion. All of our top stories are just 15 minutes away. For more news, go to KTAR.com or the KTAR News app. It is time to check the 5 o'clock ride again. Here's Troy Barrett in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
Thank you, Becky Lynn. You may have clocked out at work, but the crashes, they are clocking in. We have a crash on I-17 southbound near Van Buren. Crash on the left shoulder of westbound I-10 near Riggs Road. That is causing quite a backup south of the valley. In the East Valley, Val Vista, just south of Southern, we have a collision. A crash is blocking the right lane on westbound Santan Loop 202. That's going to be in between Alma School and Arizona Avenue. This is causing about a 3.5-mile backup right now. Crash on the left shoulder of northbound State Route 347 near Casablanca Road, and it looks like almost 3 miles of backup for folks trying to get back into Maricopa this afternoon. This traffic report is brought to you by the Beatitudes Campus. Learn about the important legal documents you should have and why the Beatitudes Campus on Friday. And why at the Beatitudes Campus on Friday, March 21st from 4 to 6 p.m. I'm Troy Barrett. Now back to the War Room with Bruce and Gaydos.
Now, back to the War Room. Insight and analysis about the biggest political stories in AZ and DC.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards.
cards.
Right now, you don't.
I'm very
You're
serious,
playing cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling
I'm
with the
president
lives of
anymore.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
I'm old enough to remember when that was a big news story. It was Friday, by the way. It was,
Right, I know.
last Friday. It's old hat by now, but we continue to have this battle back and forth about Ukraine. I have a fundamental problem with the lies being told. Ukraine did not start this war. Russia is the aggressor. Russia invaded Ukraine. That is not in question. Russia invaded Crimea in 2014. That is not in question. Right. These are facts. They're undisputable. The earth is round and the sky is blue. Just deal with it.
I thought we all just made up our own facts now.
Yeah,
Go
but
ahead.
I won't stand for the crap of away from it. But how does that meeting in the White House make us more or less safe as a country?
So that was Senator Mark Kelly who said Trump's meeting with Zelensky made our country less safe. That was Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. What do you think?
I think it makes us less safe. It's not going to make us less safe tomorrow, but it can make us less safe in the future. Look, we've built up over the last 80-plus years since World War II, we've built up this world where we have each other's backs. We created the United Nations. We forget what used to happen. There used to be attacks. Countries would attack each other and invade and try to take over. That was a regular occurrence. That ended after World War II with the United Nations and with NATO. And what this does is blow that up. So let's say the way this is going, Trump, there's peace there and Putin gets a win, and he thinks now that the United States is not going to do anything to push back and that he's not going to defend NATO. What keeps him from going into Poland or into Lithuania or another country? What keeps that from happening? That's what makes us not safe, because right now we're obligated to go protect those countries.
Well, what makes us not safe is continuing a war, and I think Trump has been very clear about wanting to usher in and bring in peace and prosperity, not only for the United States, but also the Ukraine, and that has been a top agenda item for him. So, you have Zelensky in the office, and it's more about how much more money can I get to continue this war on weapons. And what you have to understand is Trump wants to stop the bloodshed. We are all very supportive, but at some point it does need to come to the end.
Do you have to take Russia's side to do that?
Not at all. Peace isn't. Peace is,
But Russia's the aggressor. How come he isn't talking that way to Putin?
Let's talk about how we're ending. We need to talk about how we're ending.
It could end tomorrow
the
if
war.
Russia left.
Well,
it could end tomorrow.
And I think to your point, when they took over Crimea, it was all just to have a deep water port.
Correct.
And not a shot was fired, and everybody seemed to forget about it right away.
And that was Obama as president, and he screwed up by not doing something
and
at
then,
the time.
I remember a really a big moment in my life. I was with Shimon Peres in Israel, and we were talking about world peace, and we were there with the governor, some other people, and he said to the group, he said, look, there's no need for ground wars. With technology, everybody can have more, and no one has to have less. So the fact that Putin wants to go in and take over a country that he doesn't need will actually probably hurt his economy in the long run and not make it better. And it's in my mind, in Frank Milstead's mind, it's an ego move.
Yeah.
It's complete.
That's what dictators and totalitarians do.
Yeah. I mean, it's completely nonsensical, and you've lost hundreds of thousands of lives for what? And the answer is for nothing.
But to answer your question, Gaydos, what makes us safe here? Not one U.S. soldier's life has been lost in Ukraine.
Thankfully.
We're not there.
Yes.
It's a lot of money that's been spent, and this can't go on forever. And I agree.
Can I point something out? It's not money. It's arms. We don't give them cash. They're not fighting with cash.
But it's costing us money. But you're right.
But we buy tanks from American tank manufacturers and give it to them.
But here's the part that I'm questioning. How does this make more peace? Trump's now announced in the last 2 days that the United States is no longer sharing intelligence information about Russia with the Ukraine. Right. Trump is no longer allowing our military to share satellite information so that we know when Russia launches a huge attack on civilians in Ukraine, we're no longer allowed to share that information with Ukraine. Why? How does that make us safer? How is that the way to get to peace? Is it just let Russia destroy Ukraine more so that they come to the table?
His way of negotiating. Negotiations are through hard tactics, through threats.
I want to know when he's going to be hard to Putin.
It didn't help that Zelensky didn't wear a suit. That really threw off the whole meeting.
Because Elon wears one every time.
Why is it?
It was a Star Trek outfit.
What has he done to Russia for a hard line to say, if you don't come in, we're going to do this, or we're going to do more sanctions, or we're going to send more arms? Where was that? I've missed that.
Well, and I don't know that he did. If he did or didn't do, we don't know.
No, we do know. He didn't do it.
Well, I would tell you that whatever conversations they have been in private, but also you also are dealing with two completely different personalities. I mean, he knows. I mean, he's dealing with Putin, who is
he likes Putin.
I don't know that he likes him.
I think he likes him a lot.
I think the one thing that Trump has done.
Trump Tower Moscow is going to look amazing.
One thing that Trump has done well here, and I'll give one, because I don't like how he's treated Zelensky. I didn't like the Oval Office thing. I thought both men were wrong. But he's gotten Putin to the table, and no one's been able to do that. In a weird way, Donald Trump got Vladimir Putin to the table, and now there is actually a chance for peace. No one's been able to do that.
He wants to negotiate with Putin without Ukraine in the room.
I didn't say I liked everything. I said he got him to the table. At least there's a chance for some sort of peace.
Gaydos, here's the comparison. In World War II,
last word, Barry.
In World War II, Neville Chamberlain in Great Britain got Hitler to the table.
Yeah.
And they had a meeting. They had a treaty. Yeah. Hitler wasn't going to do anything else. He collapsed on his knees and said, "Do whatever you need to do. We have peace now." And he came home and said, "We have peace." Mm-hmm. And what happened after that is they invaded France. They destroyed Great Britain. They just kept rolling through Europe. That was not real peace. That was acquiescing.
Appeasement.
It was appeasement. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's what this looks like to me.
I agree.
All right. Still to come. We're inside the war room. Barry Markson, Frank Milstead. We've got Michelle Ugenti-Rita. Up next, the tariffs. Got to talk tariffs. Will Trump's tariffs help America or sink the economy? It's the war room. Stick around.
In a KTAR exclusive, Governor Katie Hobbs talks immigration and the border.
We're in different circumstances now with the federal government and their willingness to take more aggressive action on the border, and having their willingness to work with us on this operation is really critical.
Covering the stories that matter to Arizona, your city, your neighborhood. KTAR News 92.3 and the KTAR News app.
Hey, I got another Life Changer Loan real-life story for you. I want to tell you about, I'm going to call her a young lady. She'd appreciate that. Early 40s, former nurse, turned recruiter. Single mom, got a teenage boy. Now, she's been renting for a few years now after selling her house. And she was hoping that housing prices would come down. Well, obviously they haven't. Dreading the thought of signing on a 30-year mortgage debt at one of these high interest rates. So she went to Life Changer Loan. Let me tell you what Life Changer Loan came up with her. With her Life Changer Loan, she's going to be able to pay her home off in 7.8 years and save herself over $700,000 in interest payments over the life of that loan. It's not magic. It's just math. It's called a Life Changer Loan. It puts you in control and lets you control your finances. Find out for yourself at lifechangerloan.com. That's lifechangerloan.com. It's not magic. It's just math.
Everything's a little better when it's super. Heroes, markets, sized, and of course, checks. A super check gives you an in-depth review of your current insurance coverage with a Farm Bureau Financial Services agent, no matter who your insurance provider is. That's super cool. Talk to a Farm Bureau agent to make sure you're properly covered at fbfs.com/protect. It's your future. Let's protect it. Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Western Agricultural Insurance Company.
Hi, I'm Stuart Willis, president of Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax. Will your investments last throughout retirement? Do you have a retirement strategy to minimize your long-term taxes? If not, tune into Arizona's own Asset Preservation Hour right here on KTAR Saturdays at 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. or Sundays at 2 p.m. What should you do about the current economic conditions? Stay informed and stay tuned into the Asset Preservation Hour Saturdays at 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. or Sundays at 2 p.m. on KTAR.
In Arizona, they said need to paint like every 6 years. And I said, that's crazy.
Springtime in Phoenix, and painting is maddening. So do what Brian did. He called Rhino Shield.
It's a ranch-style house. 3 sides are a sheathing. It's the wood sheathing that got coated with Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's formulated for our unique climate right here in Phoenix.
With Rhino Shield, they talk about like an R13 insulation value. That's another way to reduce the air conditioning bill. I think it's a really good investment and will be well worth it.
Get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield now for 15% off the regular price.
I plan to live in the house for about 20 years, and you guys warranty your product. I don't have to worry about it.
Rhino Shield, backed by a 25-year transferable warranty. So stop throwing your money away on ordinary paint. Here's owner Jim Williams.
This offer is limited, so call me at 855-4U-RHINO. That's 855-4, the letter U, Rhino.
Go Rhino!
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield. You know you can lose weight easier and faster with Red Mountain Weight Loss. Discover the power of semaglutide and tirzepatide, the breakthrough GLP-1 medications that are transforming lives. You lose up to 15 pounds a month without feeling hungry or deprived. And for a limited time, $100 off any GLP-1 program and get the lowest prices of the year. Don't wait to lose 15 pounds this time next month, only at redmountainweightloss.com. That's redmountainweightloss.com.
This is Greg Hagan. I want to put cash in your pocket. Have you thought about selling your home? Well, Inc. 5000 just named 72 Sold the #1 real estate firm in the state of Arizona. Why? More money for Arizona home sellers. Our competitors must wonder if we have a secret playbook to get more money for you. Turns out we do, but only for you and only at 72sold.com. Get more money for your home at 72sold.com.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-292-7788. 800-292-7788.
KTAR News now.
Good afternoon. It's 5:30. I'm Becky Lynn.
Eyes on Education.
Governor Katie Hobbs indicates the state's ESA program, or school voucher program, is straining the budget. Her office reports the program will cost $1 billion in the next budget, which is currently being worked on by lawmakers. But State Schools Chief Tom Horn disagrees that it's causing issues for the budget, since the state would need to spend money on public school students, too.
And that per student cost is more, so it's not the fault of ESAs if there are budget problems.
The ESA program allows students to receive public dollars to be used for non-public schooling tuition. Worry among some Americans over rising prices on everything from food, gas, and oil to lumber.
Growing concerns after those sweeping tariffs kicked in on goods from Canada, China, and Mexico. Outside Chicago, Bob Fisher, owner of Evanston Lumber Company, founded by his grandfather, says there is not enough U.S. lumber to make up for Canada's supply.
Building in Chicago, it's going to mean higher prices. There's no question about it.
Leaders from the top U.S. automakers also took their concerns straight to President Trump. He spoke to them and issued a 30-day exemption on auto imports from Canada and Mexico. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Victory for Arizona's top prosecutor, Chris Mays, in her quest to stop the Trump administration from cutting what she calls life-saving medical research.
Critical funding for public health research at universities across the nation was in jeopardy. That's when Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays joined a coalition to block the Department of Health and Human Services and the National Institutes of Health from freezing billions in funding. Mays said today a judge granted a nationwide preliminary injunction. That means federal funds will still flow to support biomedical research, which includes lab operations, faculty support, and utility costs. Serena O'Sullivan, KTAR News.
Let's get you home now. Looking at the roads for us, Troy Barrett in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
Well, Becky, we do have a crash on northbound Loop 303. This is going to be near Grand Avenue in the Surprise area. We have a vehicle fire, I-10 eastbound near Watson Road in Buckeye, and there is a brush fire reported on Loop 303 and Lake Pleasant Parkway. Be on the lookout for emergency vehicles responding to that. In the East Valley, we do have a crash blocking the right lane on westbound Santan Loop 202. It's in between Alma School and Arizona Avenue. This is causing quite a backup, looking at about 2 miles now at this point. Crash also on the left shoulder of northbound State Route 347 near Casablanca Road. This is causing a 2-mile backup for folks trying to get back into Maricopa. This traffic report is brought to you by KTAR. Don't forget to buckle up that seatbelt. I'm Troy Barrett, KTAR News.
Tonight, we'll see a low temp around 56 degrees. Then tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high of 69 and a slight chance of a shower. By Friday, though, a 50% chance of rain and even cooler with a high only around 60. It's 73 right now in Surprise. Weather brought to you by Howard Air and Plumbing. Whether replace or repair, call Howard Air and Plumbing. I'm Becky Lynn on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
Now, back to the War Room. Insight and analysis about the biggest political stories in AZ and DC.
Second half of the War Room. Here we go. Michelle Ugenti-Rita, the former Arizona State legislature on the Republican side. We've got Frank Milstead, retired colonel of the Arizona Department of Public Safety. And he's our legal analyst, Barry Markson. All right, tariffs. Bruce, we talked about it yesterday.
Yeah.
Got 25%. On all goods imported from Canada and Mexico, as I like to call them, the axis of evil.
Yes, as well you should. Although there was a pause on automobiles today.
Yeah. All right.
The tariff on automobiles.
Are these tariffs going to go away in a day because Trump really does know it's going to hurt America, or does he actually think that these things are going to help us? What is the game plan? Is there a long-term game plan, or is he just playing chicken? And seeing, what can I get in a negotiation?
I think that's the answer. What can I get in a negotiation? I don't think it helps.
It's a dangerous game.
It is. And again, living here in Arizona, you know how important commerce is from Mexico.
Sure.
And if you
both directions, right?
Yeah, both directions. And if you ever cross the border, there's hundreds and hundreds of trucks that pass every day, and it affects all of those people that use commerce as a living. So I hope it's negotiation. I hope that it doesn't affect too many people's lives, because all of those people are hardworking men and women. If you're driving a truck back and forth between Mexico and Arizona, you're earning your money.
Yeah.
There's no thought behind it. There's no analysis behind it. That's why he announced 25% tariffs and a day later says, I'm going to take it off of automobiles, because automobile CEOs called him and said, you understand what you're doing here. This is what this does to us. Almost every car, American cars that are sold in the United States, have parts that are built in Canada and Mexico.
The average is over 50% parts from Canada and Mexico.
It's all together now. So if we're going to start doing a 25% tariff on all that stuff.
But that's because of the USMAC.
Build it in the United States of America.
Well, no, Trump negotiated that.
Trump negotiated
Build
the
in
deal.
the United States of America. Incentivize people to have manufacturing, R&D right here in the good old USA. It's an America first agenda.
Not going to happen.
Bottom line.
That's
not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Here's why. The cost goes up.
Yeah.
The cost of buying a car would double if we did that. So if you want that, that's okay, but that's what it's going to cost us.
Yes, people do want American jobs, so it's good.
I want my flat screen TVs cheap and from China, okay?
We want high-quality jobs, we want good jobs, and we want to have a variety of jobs, and we need to have growth here domestically. We need companies to open up businesses and headquarters and shops.
But factories,
so that
we're going to go back to the industrial revolution. I think
it's an American first agenda policy, and
so explain to me what happens when inflation goes up so much, because we're doing everything here in the United States. You can't buy something
Ask
from another
Biden.
country.
He's the inflation king.
Yeah. I want to understand how you think this is going to work.
He's the inflation expert.
Why do you think all these automotive companies have, and why do you think Trump, who signed this deal and put this deal in front of Canada and Mexico 5 years ago?
Saying it's
let me finish my question, if I could. Why do you think that would be a good idea, Michelle? Because what you're saying is the reason these companies do these things in Canada and Mexico is because they can make things less expensively and sell them less expensively. The reason Walmart is so popular, that so many people shop there, is because they buy products from around the world that are less expensive.
I got the lesson. But the reality is we still need jobs here. People want to work domestically. We need growth. Having R&D and development and manufacturing here in the USA is a good thing. There is a balancing act, certainly. And it's not to say that things and goods being made in other places is bad. But when it's coming at too heavy of a price for Americans, then it's time to take a second look, and that's exactly what Trump is doing.
What's the unemployment rate right now in the United States?
What is it? I love you.
I
love your rhetoricals.
You just said we need more.
What is it, Barry?
I think it's around 4%.
It's less than 4%. You said we need more jobs in the United States.
You don't think we need more jobs? You don't think we need more jobs?
Under Biden, we had the lowest unemployment that we had in 50 years, and under Trump in his first term, we had the lowest unemployment we had in 30 years. So what are the jobs that you think we need to develop in the United States, and where are those people coming from when we're cutting off all immigration?
It would be a great problem to have, right? To have so many jobs available to people in the United States. I mean,
we have that
what
now.
a problem.
It's really easy to say we want more jobs and we should only make things here, but the fact is we can't fill the jobs we have now. That's the fact. And doing what you're suggesting is going to drive prices up like 100%.
Okay, so tariffs will be paid for by America consumers.
Correct.
That's the way that
countries don't pay tariffs.
Right.
Consumers pay tariffs.
So if we have tariffs against our allies, it drives the cost up of everything. My thing is, like, it's the chaos. Like, he screwed with the markets for 2 days, and we were down 1,200 points. Today he decided, you know what, we're not going to do this for the cars. Guess what happened? The markets went up 500. Yeah. That's the stuff that drives me crazy. Like, don't mess with my money.
The business community doesn't like chaos. The markets don't like chaos. And what you're finding after he won the election, by the way, markets went up. It was the Trump bump. Everybody thought there's going to be less regulation. This is good for business, and it was the first time he was in office. But what you're seeing now with the chaos and the uncertainty, that doesn't help. And we've lost all the gains we had since Election Day are gone. They've been wiped out. $3 trillion in gains gone.
So what's the end? What is he trying to get to with the tariffs? Is it like what Michelle was saying? We need to use American companies. We need to
incentivize.
Right. Or is it, hey, I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to try and make the best deal I can, but I'm going to cause chaos, and in doing so, I'll probably get a little something. Because remember, when he first put the tariffs out there, what was he going for? He was going for border security.
Fentanyl. Well, it was fentanyl. It was
but then
border
both
security.
countries said, okay, we'll do more. And then he took it off the table, and then he put it back on. That's what I don't get.
The art of the deal. He's negotiating.
That's what it is. That's how he does this, I guess. But I don't see what the end result is going to be.
How much fentanyl?
It's going to be progress.
How much fentanyl comes in from Canada? It's almost none. I mean, but
it's like a handful.
It's
almost
under 1%.
It's almost nothing. So why are we doing? I get Mexico. You want to try to work with Mexico and stuff? Right. Oh, okay, we can have that discussion. Yeah. What did Canada do? I mean,
they're like, why are you lumping us in with Mexico?
I mean, at a 25% tariff on Canada, and if you go up into the Northeast and other parts of Michigan, other areas near Canada, their economy is back and forth. It's a lot of togetherness with that economy. You are killing businesses in those areas.
Until it hurts them, they're not going to care.
And I don't get the plan. And this thing where you're just walking around saying they want to be the 51st state. What are we doing right now? What is the plan behind that?
Where do you put another star, Barry?
Well, another star. Why? And by the way, why is it just one other state? Canada's huge. You can do like 6 states.
I think each province gets a star.
Well, that'll change electoral politics, won't it? That'll change the map. Hey, we're inside the war room. We've got Michelle Ugenti-Rita, Frank Milstead, and Barry Markson. And up next, is Arizona having a difficult time keeping businesses and jobs right here in the state? We'll talk about it next. Outspoken on KTAR.
Howard Air and Plumbing. I got to get used to saying that. Yeah, Howard Air, best AC company in the business, right here serving the Valley since 1977. But now they also do plumbing. It's fantastic. Howard Air and Plumbing. I've told you about Howard Air for 20 years here in afternoons on KTAR. The first house that I bought in the early 2000s. I'm in there for the first year. Summer hits, boom, that AC is out. I have no idea who to call. I'm a first-time home buyer, owner, and I have no idea. So I started asking around. Everybody told me Howard Air, Howard Air. It was more people telling me Howard Air than all these other companies. So I called them, and they were able to come over, and I had a new air conditioning unit just a couple of years ago. My wife and I are in the house 12, 13 years. We need a new AC. Howard Air is who we called. But now I get to call them also for all of my plumbing issues. Call 602-953-2766. HowardAir.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
What will happen with your estate when you pass away? By protecting your estate with a living trust, you could ensure that your home and your other assets will be seamlessly passed on to who you want when you want. Plus, if you're at least 60 years old, you can save 65% on a living trust with RJP Estate Planning. If you're relying solely on a will to pass down your assets, your estate could be tied up in probate court for years and cost tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees. And the people you love would have to pay these fees up front before they could get what's left of their inheritance. But you could avoid this by contacting RJP Estate Planning, who's helped over 40,000 families since 1995.
To save 65% on a living trust, call 480-896-9597 by Thursday, March 6th. That's 480-896-9597. 480-896-9597.
KTAR News Flash.
At 5:44, I'm Becky Lynn. Here's what you need to know right now. A state legislator is standing firm with his constituents in trying to stop a homegrown company from building its expanded headquarters in Scottsdale. Representative Joseph Chaplick tells the Mike Broomhead Show taser maker Axon pulled a fast one, getting the Scottsdale City Council to change the zoning from industrial to multifamily.
All four council members, including the mayor, lost significantly in their re-election because of the rubber stamp they had for massive apartment complexes. And that was for like 100, 200, 300 units. This is 1,900 unit apartment complex.
Scottsdale residents protested, leading to a referendum added to the 2026 ballot. Meanwhile, there's legislation in the works, SB 152, that would make a local rezoning an administrative act not subject to referendum petitions. All of our top stories are just 15 minutes away. For more news, go to KTAR.com or the KTAR News app. Checking on traffic for us now. Let's go right to Troy Barrett, live in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
Good afternoon, Becky Lynn. Things are looking a little bit better, although there is a lot of traffic, especially in the downtown area. We have a lot of areas around town with some socked-in, just stopped traffic around most of the valley. But just a few crashes to tell you about. One on the northbound Loop 303 near Grand Avenue. Also in Glendale, we have a crash at 55th Avenue in Orangewood. In the East Valley, a crash blocking the right couple of lanes on westbound Santan Loop 202. This is going to be in between Alma School and Arizona Avenue. That's about a 3 to 4 mile backup. Now, a crash on the left shoulder of northbound State Route 347 near Casablanca Road. About a 2 mile backup for folks trying to get back into Maricopa this afternoon. I'm Troy Barrett, KTAR News.
Home buying season is right around the corner, and now is a perfect time to make your move. Whether you're buying your first home or upgrading your home, you deserve to work with a mortgage company who can close on time and put you first. We are seeing a shift in the market, and now is your opportunity. Don't stress over complicated paperwork or hidden fees. When you work with the Lund team, it's all about making the process simple and straightforward. This home buying season, work with a team that's always here for you. Go to lundmortgage.com. That's lundmortgage.com.
Allergies are torture, but Exact from Aspire Allergy and Sinus can help you beat your allergies for good. Exact is clinically proven to give long-term lasting allergy relief in 3 injections. That's right, allergy relief in 3 injections. No matter how long you've suffered, no matter what else you've tried, with 3 injections, you can experience relief from your allergies. Exact from Aspire Allergy and Sinus. Go to aspireallergy.com to book your appointment today. AspireAllergy.com.
Hi, Jamie West here with my friend Dr. Maloney from Phoenix Secret for Weight Loss. You know, one of the things before I started the program was I just wanted to find a solution. This is something that worked really fast without any injections, and I absolutely love it. So thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure. We really believe that we're offering great value for people, but more than anything else, we're giving you something that you can learn how to do on a permanent basis. You don't have to be perfect to execute the program. You're only 1 meal away from getting back on track on our program. And so we have created a program that allows you to learn how to take better care of yourself through the difficult times, give yourself some grace along the way, and then also create something that, once again, gives you a more permanent solution. And of course, the thing that most of us are really striving to keep keep and maintain, which is our health.
Like I said, I can't thank you guys enough. Schedule your free consultation by calling 602-832-7440, 602-832-7440, or go to PhoenixSecretForWeightLoss.com.
Now, back to the War Room. Insight and analysis about the biggest political stories in AZ and DC.
Welcome back to the War Room. Our esteemed panel with us right now. Retired Colonel of the Arizona Department of Public Safety, Frank Milstead. Former Arizona State lawmaker, Michelle Ugenti-Rita, and KTAR legal analyst, Barry Markson, in the room. The hot button issue, the headline going around Arizona, or at least the Valley right now, involves a company called Axon. The maker of the taser, the maker of body-worn cameras for law enforcement. They started here, started small, built into a huge company, and now they're threatening to move their headquarters out of Arizona over basically what, to me, and I got to throw it out here to you guys, is a zoning conflict. How close am I to reality?
Well, I think that's it.
No.
I mean, this was a zoning issue in Scottsdale. Axon, by the way, $40 billion company. Michelle just said a moment ago in talking about the tariffs that we want to have headquarters. They are almost a Fortune 500 level company that has a headquarters here in Arizona in Scottsdale. They were born here, they grew here, and it's huge. They employ thousands and thousands of people. Their average pay is over $130,000 per person, and they want to build a campus like a Microsoft style campus. They want apartments there and parks and buildings and
this
stuff.
Is like at the 101 in Hayden.
101
if you think about it, right up there, right?
1,900 apartments.
It's actually it's not 1,900.
Actually, it is 1,900 apartments.
It's 1,500
no,
apartments.
It's 1,900 apartments.
We can talk about the facts later if you want. But
I'm glad I'm sitting between you.
But here's the issue. Well, Michelle, let me just ask you this. You want to talk about propaganda? How much are you being paid? How much are you being paid?
So I work for TASE, and all of a sudden,
no,
what does that have to do with their unconstitutional bill? That's the issue.
I think the audience should know. I think the audience should know that you're here being paid to speak on behalf of a California union that is trying to drive an Arizona company out of state.
Here's what Arizonans in Scottsdale need to know.
You're not answering the question. How much are you being paid?
Axon. Go look at campaign finance reports. Do you not know how to work a computer?
A campaign finance report is not going to show me how much you're being paid.
Really?
Tell the audience how much money you're making to come in and say these things. Well, we should know this, Gaydos.
How much are you getting paid?
Nothing. Zero.
You're this incompetent and you're not getting paid?
That's right.
So
I don't get paid to say something bad. I say what I think is right.
Let's.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Really, that's your reputation, Barry.
You say what someone pays you to do. Go ahead. Tell us.
Here's what's going on. Thank you. I'll speak because I know this issue inside and out very intimately. So what's going on is Axon was supposed to build a headquarters in Scottsdale, and they changed that. Everybody's been supportive of their headquarters.
The plan,
the plan changed,
okay,
and they included in the new plan 1,900 apartments. And when they did that, that became very controversial in Scottsdale. Overdevelopment is a hot topic, and excessive apartment building is a hot topic. Council members and the mayor got unelected on this issue, and instead of understanding the constituency, what Rick Smith did is he went down to council and had the lame duck council pass the upzoning. So not only does he get the headquarters, but it also included the 1,900 apartments. When he did that, Scottsdale responded. We collected over 26,000 signatures to refer that zoning decision by council to the ballot. We've qualified. Our signatures were not challenged, and we will be on the ballot in the fall of the even year of 2026. So Scottsdale residents can weigh in support or in opposition of the issue. Now, he's so incensed that he has to make his case to the public. He ran down to the legislature like a little child and introduced an unconstitutional bill that has a retroactive effective date to make our referendum, the Scottsdale citizens referendum, void. It repeals it. That's obnoxious, it's unheard of, and it's unprecedented. It will not pass.
I want to talk about some actual facts now. So
those are the facts. What did I say that wasn't
I just
factual?
let you speak for 2 straight minutes. Are you going to let me talk? So what happened was he had this land that is literally was zoned for fulfillment and distribution centers, Amazon and Walmart, just trucks coming in and out 24/7. And he 4 years ago wanted to create this campus. At first it was 3,000 apartments and all this different stuff. They talked to the neighbors, they negotiated with the city council. This went on for 4 years, a zoning issue for 4 years. And then the council, they got everything they wanted, the neighbors signed off, everybody's okay, 1,500 apartments, 400 condos, and a whole bunch of other stuff, and the council approved it. And then this California labor union came to Arizona. Nobody here. You're laughing, but you know it's true.
No, I don't.
Let me finish.
I know you were lying.
They came here
right
and they
now,
hired people like Michelle to.
They didn't hire me.
Okay, they hired Jason Rose, who's paying Michelle an awful lot of money apparently to go to the public and say this stuff. The question for Arizonans is: do we want to keep the headquarters of a $40 billion company?
They can stay.
Do we want to keep the headquarters of a $40 billion company in Arizona, or do we want to let a California labor union and the handful of people being paid a bunch of money by them to push them out of Arizona?
Is there any compromise in here?
Look, here's the reality. He's trying to distract you from the real issue. They introduced an unconstitutional bill. The reality is the referendum is happening. If this was so popular, then why don't you make your case to Scottsdaleans?
Because they don't want to wait another.
If this is so popular, make your case to the public. Have the election. Isn't that representative government?
No.
Isn't that democracy?
No, that is not representative government.
It is representative government. Those rights are enshrined in the Arizona Constitution.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
My goodness, Michelle.
Are you kidding?
Representative government means we elect people.
You're telling me where's the referendum process in
Michelle,
statute?
Representative government, you just said, means we elect the city council.
Does the public
and
have
the city
referendum?
Council makes these decisions. They made the decision in Texas and Florida and all these other
Florida doesn't have the referendum process like we do in Arizona.
They do. They don't have it for zoning.
Well, I'm excited to show you alleged council opinion that's going to put
Are you going to tell the audience how much money you're being paid to say these things? So I think that's only fair.
I feel like I'm sitting between my parents and the
Well, this is what happens. This is what happens when the city of Scottsdale is not on your side. This is what happens when your project is unpopular.
If we get past the politics of this,
your project is unpopular.
You look at the company. Well, there's a lot of things that are unpopular. That's why the Coyotes aren't here, and that's why they're still building apartments like crazy in Scottsdale. But
they're really not.
Axon
they haven't built apartments in Scottsdale.
Actually, there's 10,000 apartments in the pipeline. But again, Barry Markson doesn't know his facts.
We've run out of time.
That's why he's on Twitter.
Trump and Zelensky have nothing on our panel.
Nothing.
You don't want Axon to leave is the answer. You want them here.
Well, weigh in on the election.
All right.
They will
lose miserably.
Wow. All right.
And we'll win.
That is the War Room for today. Michelle Ugenti-Rita, Frank Milstead, Barry Markson, we appreciate you spending time with us. We do appreciate all of our guests here in studio as well. Checking the headlines are on the way. And on the other side, is going to Disneyland going to look a lot different? We'll talk about it if you're planning your spring break trip. It's coming up next. We're Outspoken on KTAR.
I'm going to get our panel to agree on this. The Arizona Painting Company is absolutely the #1 painting